Thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Welcome, Massenomics fans and Massenomics listeners. We're back for episode 181 of the Massenomics podcast. We are the lifting podcast about nothing, and this episode is brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. They're your one-stop shop for all things fitness and online coaching. Whether your goals are training-related, nutrition and body composition-related, or both, Hybrid has a program for you. With dedicated and experienced coaches in each strength and fitness discipline, you can rest assured that you're in the best hands possible. Use code MASS, M-A-S-S, in all caps for 5% off any training or nutrition memberships for the life of your membership. Visit hybridperformancemethod.com. This show is also brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large is your one-stop online shop for powerlifters, strongmen, Highland Games athletes, CrossFit athletes, and anyone that lifts iron. Visit liftinglarge.com today. There's a free shipping on any orders over $60, and 99% of orders are shipped the same day that they are placed. Today's episode is also brought to you by Spud Inc. The goal of Spud Inc. straps is to make products that support sports performance and help everyone achieve their training goals. They make products that last forever, won't bust your budget, and most importantly, leave no doubt about success when everything is on the line. Check them out online at spud-inc-straps.com. Tommy, how's it going today?
It is going good.
One comment, it almost made me laugh as I was going through our pre-roll ads here. I have a hard time saying the word iron. I do not.
Yeah.
So say that.
I say iron, but
iron.
But
Iron.
I mean, I probably have that thick South Dakota accent coming through there. I'm sure that's not how most people say it.
Every time I read that, I'm like, why does the word iron sound?
Yeah, there's certain ones that just hit you.
I-R-O-N. I don't know. And the more I say it, it starts to feel like, is that a word? Like, how is that a word? That sounds so weird.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of words that once you put them under the microscope, they completely fall apart on you.
Yeah,
and then you're ruined forever.
The other thing I noticed is Spud Inc.'s website. I said dash and you say hyphen. Is there a difference between the dash and a hyphen?
I think they're fine.
Okay.
I think they're both fine.
Okay. So it is.
I'm just more of a really, really purist when it comes to grammar,
right,
Tanner.
Right.
That's just how I live my life.
Yes. What else is new in the week of Massenomics? Anything exciting over on your end?
I don't know. There's one thing I saw just brought to my attention today, Tanner. We've talked very briefly about UFOs on the show before.
Yeah.
Do you know who Tom DeLonge is? One of the members of Blink-182.
Oh,
in case you're not up
sure.
on your...
I've heard of Blink-182.
Yeah, most people have heard of them once or twice. But did you know he's also a huge UFO guy?
Okay, so he's a believer.
He's, big into trying to get the truth out there. He's known for this. This is his thing. And I should get the article pulled up here really quick. But just today, I had some buddies send this to me. The Navy confirmed that the UFO video that Tom DeLonge released does in fact have unidentified aerial phenomena in it. And that is the new term that
I was just going to say. I was just thinking the acronym as you said that.
Yeah, they're getting away from the UFO term and going more into this UAP or UAF.
That seems like it's a little more open-ended. When you say UFO, people relate it to aliens, but they're saying, what is it?
P, but okay. I feel like I've heard people use UAF, and I'm not huge into the. I don't keep up on my UFO thing, but apparently there's something going on out there, Tanner. So,
but they're saying that could just mean maybe it's a Russian spy aircraft that they don't know what it is. That could be an option too, right? Or not?
Yeah,
really?
but
or
even here, they're saying that. This person's saying they would have, if they released the official documents, they would have expected them to be labeled as drones or balloons. However, they did not, and they went on the record stating the phenomena depicted in these videos is unidentifiable. This person said that made them surprised that they actually went that far to say that. So, I don't know. Could be something out there, Tanner.
We've talked about it. And
We have talked about it. I believe we claimed they were underrated. So
yeah, and I think something I know I've read and what I said when we did do the episode, I think it's crazier to believe
that it's
that they're not
something
possible.
Yeah.
That it's there is to just say there is no other life out there. That's crazier considering the size, because we did talk about like the immense size of universe isn't the right word, or galaxy, but like
Just
of
everything. Yeah.
and to believe that there couldn't be anything else out there is.
And I think it might have came up when we were first discussing the raid on Area 51.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a big week between the raid on Area 51, the aging face app. I mean, there was just a lot of stuff going on in the internet. That was lifetimes ago, wasn't it?
Area 51, I haven't forgot, but the aging face app,
Yeah,
that's
that just
already
came and gone. Yep.
Like I forgot that was a thing.
Everyone, and it's like, oh, is it not fun anymore to see your face old? Because no one cares about that anymore at all.
No.
You know, that's just how quick things move now.
It is.
So I guess the moral of the story is don't develop an app, because people might like it for a day and then just move on and never talk about it
Imagine
again.
those app developers, what that was like. They're like, oh man, we are killing
Yeah.
it.
And
it's
like 3 weeks
and
later, people
we're
are like,
dead.
what was that app even
Yeah,
called?
right.
I think it was just the Face app, wasn't it? I don't even really remember. I mean, it was the most like generic name ever, but
Yeah.
I think it was something like that.
Huh.
So, I mean, that's mostly what I know. Actually, one other thing, Tanner. I went to a wedding this past weekend.
Oh.
And, I think we've talked about it on the show. There's been previous summers where I've attended a lot of weddings. What made this wedding very unique, it was a pretty wild crew, which is always a fun time. But there was a certain song, and I believe the song is called UCLA by R.L. Grime. I wasn't familiar with it before this weekend. Apparently, someone in the party had an attachment to this song, and it kept playing over and over. I mean, they'd play it for like an intro song, and then it was just playing periodically throughout the wedding. But then once the dance was really cut and loose, the song came on. The DJ played the song, and people start going nuts. The next thing you know, the groom is in everyone's hands, he's surfing above the crowd, and I'm like, well, that's pretty cool actually. And people are like going nuts. Good time gets done. And it was like, man, that was a lot of fun. That song, I'm glad that song played. And then the crowd goes, one more time. While another song is playing already. The DJ stops that song, goes back to the other one again. I'm like, damn, that's pretty cool. Like, usually wedding DJs are like, oh, we're kind of just going to stick to the script here. Nothing too crazy. And then people start going nuts again, like ripping clothes off, going crazy. And song gets over, and it was like, wow, okay, they got him to do it twice. That was really cool. Next song starts, one more time. The guy plays it again, and it was like everyone had heard it for the first time. And that was one of the more exciting wedding dance experiences I'd ever had, just because people were going so nuts about it.
So it was a good song though too.
It wasn't a bad song.
Okay.
I can vouch for it. If you want to party, it's not a bad song to have on. So, so that was probably my excitement.
Okay. Something as we were just talking, I was thinking we've never mentioned it as we made some changes on the podcast here. We never did talk about this, did we? As far as what we're talking into and what we're listening
I don't know
with?
if we did actually.
Yeah. We made some upgrades a few episodes back. What has it been, a month or 4 episodes maybe
This
now?
is either the 3rd or 4th episode, I think.
We switched out microphones to something that sounds better, and it also does not conceal our face as much as we're talking into
a higher caliber microphone. And like you said, you can, if you're one of the video watchers, we don't have these enormous mics in our face anymore.
And we also went to updated.
Now we wear some headphones, so
these are pretty fancy headphones.
So now
too.
when I start going way over, I'm like, oh, okay, I was off the mic. I can hear myself not talking in the mic. So, that's what we're all about here, just bringing the premier audio experience to our listeners.
Yeah, so if you've noticed the audio being better the last few weeks, there's a reason for that. And we can tell a difference. I'm pretty sure listeners can tell a difference too.
I would think so.
We're pretty high quality.
I mean, it's only the best around here.
Yeah.
It is only the best.
These are certainly the nicest headphones I've ever had.
It's up there. Those Audio Technicas. It's the real deal, man.
That sounds good to me. As I'm listening,
And
it
I
sounds
mean,
good.
they're stylish. Just walk around with these things, leave
Would
the
be-
house, throw them on.
Would be hot outside though.
Yeah, it would be
Just
like
on a
wearing
humid day.
actual earmuffs.
Yes.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to go too far with that. You'd be in trouble.
No. How do you feel about busting into our first segment of the show? We kind of have a time sensitive segment.
Yeah.
here.
There is a certain one we have to get to right away.
This segment is probably going to have to always be kind of early in our podcast flow.
Give something people to look forward to right away.
This episode is making its second appearance on the Massenomics podcast is called "What's in the Can." Do you remember how you invented what's in the can?
I do remember.
So you probably remember
So
how
yeah,
to play.
the official rule here, we have 2 cans here. Only one of us knows what's in the cans. This
Do you have a
week,
preference
this
this
week,
week?
Tanner happens to be the one who knows what's in the cans. So one, I kind of miss out on the ability to surprise you here,
Yeah.
Tanner. It is, getting close to my bedtime. It's 8:30 at night. He's assured me there's no caffeine in here. So I guess I have that to look forward to, is that I won't be hopefully staying up all night. But
no stimulants.
Besides that, I don't know what's in this can. I'm not going to look at the label. I can only see the very top of the label. I see it's a white can. Besides that, I haven't looked.
Yep, could be anything in here.
Could be anything. So should we get right to it?
Yeah, and once we get done with this, I'll say why this is. There's good reason as to why this is on what's in the can.
You know the routine.
Yeah, you got to do it in the.
Ooh, got me in the face on that one.
That's what
Well,
she said.
the smell already is reminiscent of alcohol. Okay. So it is a beer.
So have you determined it? Okay, you've determined it's beer.
It is a beer. Now, what beer is it?
On the ring of the can says "Passion
Am I allowed to look at that or not?
like a river flows." Yeah,
Wow.
you can look at that. Tommy's drinking out of the Deadlifter koozie, Deadlifter King of Lifts. I'm drinking out of the classic Lift Navy Blue koozie.
I cannot tell you what this is. I don't know what it is.
You would not know.
So I'm going to be wrong no matter
Well,
what.
I mean, you might know like what you could maybe describe the kind of. I certainly sure as hell wouldn't know how to do that, but like
It's a lighter variety, but it doesn't taste like a light beer, but it's definitely not I don't know.
should we do the reveal?
Yeah, let's do the reveal here. What do we got?
Peel back the layers.
Jump in. Cahaba Brewing? Is that what it is?
I think so.
American Blonde. Okay.
An American blonde ale.
Very smooth.
And did you happen to notice where this is brewed?
Yeah, Birmingham.
Birmingham, Alabama.
Was this
This came from our friends down in Alabama. We like to lovingly refer to them as the Alabama contingency. So that would be Jonathan Oldham, Bacon and Beer Bells on Instagram, one of our sponsored lifters, and his crew that lifts at Diamond K Powerlifting. They sent this to us.
awesome? I like it.
I like the can.
Yeah, I do too.
The gold lettering, and
it's got that nice, clean, modern design. But yeah, that gold looks nice. But the beer tastes good too.
yes. So these guys sent me this. They sent me this and some other things. They, we had the episode I talked about. My sister had passed away, and they sent me some really nice stuff, and I just really appreciate that they did that.
Yeah.
And also, I would say too, I got so many comments and just like people that said nice things after that episode, and that just made me feel pretty good.
Yeah,
I liked that.
It makes me feel like, damn,
Yeah,
like we do got people out there.
Yeah,
that
we
care.
do for sure. So I appreciate that. Everyone that's listening that took the time to say something, thank you for doing that. And Alabama contingency, thank you for this beer.
Thank you for being you guys.
And they wouldn't even known about our newest segment, What's in the Can.
it
So
was just meant to be
right.
at this point.
So that's when I got this. It was just after we had recorded our first segment, first ever time, What's in the Can. And I thought, hey.
And it's like it was meant to
yeah.
be.
So what do you think about it as an American blonde ale? Any opinion?
I mean, it's good. I
Yeah.
would definitely drink another one. America. That's
Yeah,
kind
I
of
like
the.
this.
That's kind of the.
This is up my alley, I would
yeah,
say.
it's kind of the great in between one for that person that loves their light beer, but maybe wants to just do something a little different flavored.
That's kind
It's
of
kind of. You
that's
could
kind
say
of
maybe
my
it's the gateway drug
Yeah.
to the next thing.
that's kind of where I fit in. I'd say. I mean, more times than not, I just like a good old regular light beer, but something like Sam 76 is something I enjoy a lot, and I consider that in that category. That it's
Yep.
like
To me,
not
that falls
far off.
right in that.
Yeah.
Yep, that's why I always.
That's kind of where I live.
I'm also I've said it before. I'm a big fan of Big Wave, and that falls right in that area. Stella's kind of in that area
Yep.
too. If you just need to get just one shade away from the norm, those will be a happy spot for anyone.
Yep. I like it.
Well, cool. Thank you, Alabama contingency.
Yeah, the Alabama contingency.
Should we talk now a little bit about lifting, Tanner?
I suppose that is. And
when
we
I
are
say-
contractually obligated to talk about lifting.
And when I say lifting, and this is in a somewhat loose sense here, so this past weekend,
At least people that
it's more
stand
about
on stage.
people. Yeah,
and-
it's not so much about the lifting as it is about the looks. But what we're getting at is this past weekend was the Olympia, and you know what that means? Time for Massenomics to talk about bodybuilding for at least 10 minutes this year, and we'll revisit bodybuilding for 10 minutes next year when the Olympia comes around.
I recall us talking about the Olympia.
I mean, it is of significance to the industry and to. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
big deal. There's
Yeah.
no doubt about it. It's a big deal.
Have we been recording in your house for a year now? Because I feel like when
We
we talked
about
that
at
must
my
have been
old
one-
house.
Yeah, right.
That was one of the first few, I believe.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
it was not. We were. It had only been a 2-man show for a little bit at that time.
Yeah. Huh.
So shout out to the people that can remember that. Though, right?
Yeah. right.
Yeah, so the Olympia took place, and I do, just because we're not in that world, I forget about how significant of a thing it actually is. You know, I did see quite a few people on Instagram that we both follow that
Yeah.
were there
At the expo.
Yeah, at the expo, you know, running around, and it's like, damn, there is an actual expo. I
Huck
forget.
Finn was there.
Huck Finn was there doing Huck
Brian
Finn
Shaw.
things. Yep.
If it was a driving thing, like if it was doable, we could do it. I mean, we
You
could
know-
obviously fly there, but we couldn't have our booth if we're
Yeah,
flying.
and you know, we have the luxury of Columbus, Ohio is only a short 18 hours away. Unfortunately, Vegas is slightly longer. So
yeah, I talked
on
about
top of
about
having to
Columbus.
drive through actual mountains and things,
Right.
you know, the up and downside of Columbus is that you don't see shit. The whole, I mean, you're the view to start the drive is the same view 18 hours later. There's a few more trees, and that is it.
Yep.
There might be less snow, but that does not change. Going to the Olympia though, we'd be like going across the Rockies, and
Right.
I think it would take a little bit of work to get there.
Yeah.
On top of being like, I believe, like 20 hours.
Yeah, probably at least 20.
Yeah. So yeah, that one might not be in the cards for us anytime soon, but I guess never say never, right?
Yeah, well, that's true. we could go just making guest appearances. You know, we could fly there pretty easily. I think everyone could fly to
That'd
Vegas
be
pretty
kind of fun
easily.
too,
Yeah,
actually. Maybe that's what needs to happen.
I think that's probably what like Tom Finn is doing. I don't think he had a booth there this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, Vegas is just cool to go to in general.
That's true.
You know, it's probably hot this time of year, I would imagine.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
A little heat never hurt nobody.
That's right.
So should we get to the results here, Taylor?
Yeah, what happened at this year's Olympia?
So probably the big thing.
There's a new champ.
Well, the gift was not competing this year. That was probably. Do you know why, Tanner? I don't know. I don't know why.
We do not know that.
Okay,
enough
so
to
it's
know
a
why.
total mist. It's safe to say no one knows why. Then
So the last two champions.
have not been the gift.
No, he was the gift. Or he was the gift was the champion 2 years ago, but neither of the last two champions were competing this year.
Yes.
Because-
but also the gift is not won in 2 years now.
Right. Yes, correct. But so Sean Rhodes, is that right? Is that who won last year? Trying to think back.
I believe it was. Let me get you the name. I think it's Roden.
Okay, Roden. Yeah, this is all a good example of how much we know about
Yeah,
bodybuilding.
Sean Roden. Yes.
But so for the
2018
third
champion.
year in a row, we have a new champion, and in Mr. Olympia terms, that's not all that common. Because in the existence of the Mr. Olympia,
Okay, this year we didn't even say it. This year Brandon Curry won.
Yeah.
He is the 15th winner
okay, I
ever.
was just
And
gonna
we talked
say,
about that
yeah.
last year. How last year was just the 14th winner ever.
right?
So yeah, it's not a event that sees a lot of turnover in champions, and we're talking. God, I don't know what's it been around. Is it 50 years? It's around there, I believe.
Probably. But Arnold, of course, won several. Ronnie Coleman won several. Dorian Yates won several. Phil Heath won several. So there's like, if you take like 5 or 6 guys, they make up. Jay Cutler won several.
Yep, Jay Cutler. There's one other guy in the beginning I can't think of, but yeah. So it's a very exclusive group of people,
Right.
And then when you look at the prize, so the placing, we have Brandon Curry in first. Second was William Bonnick. 3, never even heard of this guy. I think it's Hattie Chupon, probably murdering that. 4th, Massenomics' favorite, Dexter the Blade Jackson.
I was excited for when we would get to Dexter
like,
Jackson.
man, that guy has some staying power.
The Blade is If you know anything about Massenomics and bodybuilding, the Blade is our far and away favorite competitor. Why that is exactly.
We don't really know why, but he just is.
He's the Blade.
He's the Blade.
He's also 49 years old.
Is that how old he
Yeah.
is? I was just trying to find that out.
49 years old.
Wow,
and he's still the Blade.
that is insane.
So he's been the Blade for several years now.
I would assume 49 years he's been the Blade.
And he has not ceased being the Blade ever since.
Wow, that's really impressive.
So next year what will be impressive next year is the big 5-0 and still being the Blade.
Yeah. And probably still placing in the top
Olympia.
5.
Yeah.
And then rounding out the top 5 here was Raleigh Winkler.
I've heard of him.
Yep, also a pretty big name. Now, the payouts.
Yeah.
The payouts.
We come from the world of
yeah,
powerlifting generally.
Maybe the listeners out there don't even know the money associated with contests and prizes. We're used to more of the we pay more attention to the powerlifting and strongman side of things. And there,
in powerlifting, if someone could win 20 grand,
well, yeah,
that's a huge number.
Huge deal when the U.S. Open is putting up like 150,000 in prizes.
Yeah.
And that's getting split out between, I don't know, 30 people or something.
Right.
So I don't know what was the top prize at the U.S. Open this year? Was it 25,000?
I don't know if it was that high. I don't think it was that high this year, but it has been that much before that you had the chance to win like 20.
Yeah, we're talking in the tens of thousands. Is the premier purse
right
in the sport
in powerlifting.
In the tribute meet, they raised what was it 60,000 or something for their meet just recently.
Yep.
And I think the same thing there. Like first was like
10 or a little over.
Yeah, I want to say around 10
or 12. It might have been like Hack might have got like 12 grand.
Yep. So there's a few meets over the course of a year that are paying 10,000 plus to first place.
Right.
And you are one of only a few people in the world that are ever going to have ever have a chance
to even
do
be
that.
close to having a chance. And even then the stars have to align for you that day.
Yep.
In strongman,
not even that day. The 6 months leading up to that day because people
yes.
drop out like flies and all these things.
In strongman, I guess it's another level up, but still not crazy. The best historically paying event is the Arnold Classic. I think that Dubai thing actually pays out more now than the Arnold Classic does. But the Arnold, the winner's usually looking at, I think, like 70 or 80 grand.
I was going to say 80. Yeah, it's right in that ballpark. And I think from there, they kind of go down in like steps of about 10. So it's pretty even.
The top 3 guys, and everyone
gets money.
Gets money at the Arnold.
Yeah.
So the last ones are like a couple thousand. But.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you're getting money. I mean, your travel's probably covered. And also, the hotels at the Arnold are super expensive. So maybe travel's not covered. I don't know. But then looking at the Olympia results, first place, Brandon Curry, payout $400,000.
That's a payday.
That's a lot of money. And these guys at this level, they're probably only doing
1 or 2 shows. Yeah.
I
think he did the Arnold.
Did he do the Arnold? Okay.
I thought he won the Arnold.
Okay, so then these guys are doing 2 shows a year. So they have 2 chances to, I guess, in a competition standpoint, make money. They're obviously making a lot of money off of sponsors, and that's why bodybuilding can pay so much, is because these guys are on the covers of magazines. I mean, that's becoming less of an issue, but they just have such a presence. They have fans.
And supplements go together really well too.
Spaghetti and meatball. But yeah, these guys have big followings, like bigger than almost any powerlifter, and it shows in the money that they attract a lot of eyes. But so first place taking 400,000, second William Bonnick 150. That's still not a bad day. No. That's a pretty awesome payout. Third place getting 100.
Really?
Fourth getting 45,000, and fifth getting 40,000. So that's not. And I would imagine there's probably money on the lower spots too. Maybe
I would guess. So even fifth place at the Olympia, still making double what the best powerlifting meet payout is for an all-around winner.
Yeah, it's just a really. Yeah, the economics of the sports are just so different. Yeah. It's kind of almost hard to wrap your head around how different that is.
But it's got to be, the big thing is the sponsorship, because there's obviously money there, so they pay out because there's money.
Yeah, man,
money in the sport.
I think what it comes down to, really.
It seems a little weird for us to think about because we're not that into bodybuilding, and we are pretty involved in powerlifting and strongman. So to me, you get that thing where it's like, well, they're just like standing on stage and posing.
Yeah, it's kind of that.
But in reality, I know, I mean, there's so much more that goes into it.
And it's probably, I mean, it's obviously harder to. There's only 5 guys in the world that can even step on this stage, so
Right.
it's harder to even. I think everyone would say it's probably a harder sport just because
Yeah.
everything has to be in point,
Yeah.
But yeah, I would want nothing to do with that. I'm not going to play that game.
I mean, I would like the $400,000.
No, I would like the 400,000, but I also just want to sit here and talk about it and sip on this Chaba beer.
Yeah. But then if you think about someone like Phil Heath, I don't know if he won it 6 times or whatever it was.
It was either 6 or 7.
Yeah, and I assume the payouts have maybe gone up a little bit.
You would think, yeah.
But he's not ancient history, so they probably haven't been that much lower. But 6 times 400,000 is what, 2.4 million?
Yeah.
That he made just in winnings of the Olympia.
In one single competition per year.
Right.
That's pretty damn good.
Right. That's legit. I mean, but then again, that's just one guy who's the best for a decade.
Yeah, and that is also one of the best of all time.
Right.
Not just like the best of few. I mean, one of the, you could say tied for the best of all time. Based on titles.
And that's why they call him the gift.
And that is why he's the gift.
And we're still not sure why Dexter is the blade, but
Still not sure, but we like it,
he's the blade.
and he will continue to be our favorite because of that.
Because of his slice and dice move.
Slice and dice, baby. Tanner, I don't want to quite shut down our bodybuilding segment yet because I know as soon as this is over, we can't talk about bodybuilding for another year. So
That's true. Is there anything else that you
I
have
mean,
to say
yeah,
about?
I was gonna say, is there just any thoughts you've
in
had on
bodybuilding at
bodybuilding? Since in the last year, any observations, any concerns about a next generation Iron movie or anything?
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. No, we'll be back at the Arnold this year, and I'm sure we won't watch the. We went and we watched that the first year and haven't been back to watch it since.
I would say, okay, the first year we had media passes, so we got into the show for free. I was entertained. I'd never been to a bodybuilding show. I was entertained enough. The second year, or I should say this last year, assuming I didn't feel like I was going to just die. And if someone was like,
Of
here,
exhaustion.
I was just like dying and didn't want to be around people ever again, after like 12 hours of just being basically battered by people. If I was in just my normal state, I'd be like, yeah, I don't got anything else to do. I'd totally go to that.
Right.
But yeah, this year it was not in the cards. And I would assume next year we're not going to have extra energy after selling our wares for 12 straight hours. So probably won't see a bodybuilding show again for quite a while.
No, if ever. Yeah. It would be interesting to go to the Olympia, though.
It would be
that
cool.
Would be on
yeah,
you know what?
Maybe that would be it. Actually, yeah, I still will not rule out the Olympia for next year. It probably makes more sense for us to go to the Olympia than the U.S. Open or something like that.
Right.
U.S. Open is in sunny California, though.
Yeah. Las Vegas, California. Either way is a win.
Probably. I mean, yeah, it is an upgrade. It is an upgrade.
Huh. No, otherwise bodybuilding. No, I guess it is what it is.
Okay, you really ready to close this book?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. Okay. Well, that covers the Massenomics 2019 bodybuilding segment. And I guess stay tuned for 2020, and we will fill you in on what happened in the last year.
Who won? Who wins the Olympia that year?
Who won the Olympia that year? Yeah. What do we got? Do you want to read some ads, Tanner?
I think that's probably about
read
that
some
time.
ads up in here.
Our ad segment.
This is
Can we call it the ad segment?
This is maybe our favorite segment. It's the only segment that makes money. I can tell you that.
That's true.
All right, let's get these ads here. This episode is brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. If you've been training without a coach and have been looking for a competitive edge, remember to check out Hybrid. You know what, Tanner? Never mind that. Okay. Remember to check out hybridperformance.com. Hybrid has 15 different strength and fitness programs covering everything from powerlifting and strongman to gymnastics and general fitness, all included in one training membership. That's not all. Hybrid also offers one-on-one personalized nutrition coaching that uses lifestyle habits and a flexible approach to shape your nutrition plan around your current lifestyle, instead of turning your lifestyle upside down in order to support unsustainable habits that only work in the short run the way most programs do. If you're ready to take your training, nutrition, or both to the next level, use code MASS, in all caps, that's MASS, for 5% off memberships to all programs for the life of your membership. Check them out at hybridperformancemethod.com.
Speaking of hybrid performance method, did you notice on the Massenomics Instagram page who was featured in a Massenomics rookie card?
I did. Mr. Hayden himself.
Hayden, yes, he has made some pretty impressive progress. He went from about a 1345 to like a 1750 or something he's up to. Still at under 200 pounds body weight too, competing in the 198 class.
That's the big one, is usually when people start to go through hundreds of pound increases, there's also a many body weight increase on there
and
too.
He has not.
Yeah.
And approaching an 1,800 pound total. So obviously the hybrid performance method coaching and nutrition planning is working for him.
And allegedly they beat a Prius out in a versus too.
Yes, that was also this week.
Today's show is also brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large is your one-stop online shop for powerlifters, strongmen, Highland Game athletes, CrossFit athletes, and anyone that lifts iron. They have over 2,100 training tools from the top brands like Titan Support Systems, ER Equipment, Spud Inc., Skull Smash, Pro Lock Collars, Kabuki Strength, Texas Bars, Pioneer Belts, and more than 15 other manufacturers. Lifting Large has been serving strength athletes around the world through their online store for over 15 years. Owner Mike and Teal Adelman have over 55 years of experience competing in powerlifting, strongman, and Highland Games. They hold multiple world and American records, so you can rest assured knowing the products they carry are the very best in the industry. Visit liftinglarge.com today. There is free shipping on any order over $60, and 99% of orders are shipped the same day they are placed. Listeners of the Massenomics podcast can save 20% on Lifting Large branded items. Just use discount code MASS20, that's MASS20, at checkout to save 20% on Lifting Large branded items. Place your orders at liftinglarge.com today, and you can follow them on Instagram at liftinglarge.com. That's liftinglarge.com.
Did I mention that I tried out the Lifting Large deadlift slippers?
Yep.
The ground lock deadlift
You were deadlifting
slippers.
with them the other day.
I tried them out last week, and that's the first time I've ever worn deadlift slippers. And it really does not feel like you're wearing very much on your feet. So I would think if you're someone that, some people like to just go down to their socks for deadlifting, but you can't do that in a competition. They would be a very good option.
For sure.
And they would fall
And you're
into
also not going to be blowing through socks all the time either.
Right. Yeah. And it's a little less gross, probably.
Yeah. I mean, really, probably the hygiene's the biggest one here.
Yeah. And that is a product that would fit into that 20% off with our code category. So if you're after a pair of deadlift slippers, highly recommend those ones.
Get on those.
Yep.
And the Massenomics podcast is also brought to you by Spud Inc. Straps. Spud Inc. now offers the Squat Buddy, your new best friend for leg day. It gives your hips just enough compression to make hitting depth more comfortable with a nice little pop out of the hole. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the Squat Buddy is kind of like the slingshot of the lower body.
I think that's probably the best way to describe it.
Yep. The Squat Buddy is also great to help reinforce good technique for young lifters, and especially a great tool to help overload the squat for elite level lifters. With our innovative loops on the side, the Squat Buddy is easy to get on and off, so you can take it off between sets, but comfortable enough to wear a whole squat workout if you want. Get your Spud Inc. Squat Buddy and get to squatting. Check out Spud Inc. online for their other great products and the Squat Buddy at spud-inc-straps.com, and be sure to follow them on Instagram at Spud Inc. Straps. Thank you to our sponsors.
And we do have a Squat Buddy in the gym. I can't remember what size we have.
We've
on
both
the
worn it. It's like, whoa, yeah, this is doing something. Wow, this is a sensation that you're not used to.
It is hard to describe it. It is. Neither of us have ever squatted in squat briefs or any single ply suits or anything like that. This is obviously much, much easier to put on than anything like that. It just kind of slides over your hips, and you kind of wear it like right below your ass cheeks, kind of is where it sits across your hips. And it's not an extreme difference. It's not like you're going to go in and squat 200 pounds more than you ever have before. But it does.
Maybe if you know what you're doing with it.
Yeah, maybe that's true. We're pretty kind of rookies at it still, but it does have a noticeably different feel to it.
Yeah. It's one of those very unique products that, like, until you've actually used it, it's hard to really compare it to anything.
Yeah, it is. So that's the Squat Buddy, though.
That is the Squat Buddy.
Yeah, buddy, Squat Buddy, lightweight baby.
That's right.
As long as we're we're hitting up segments for the second time in their existence. How about we hit up Who Weighs More?
Ooh.
I think Who Weighs More, backed by very popular demand. I think it went over very well this week.
Did it?
Yeah.
Did we get some real?
Yeah.
Some the votes were piling in.
Yeah,
Okay,
so-
I did.
yeah.
I do have to admit this. All right. So this was my complaint with it. Is once you see the pictures of people, it makes it significantly easier.
Yeah.
I'm just doing the whole mental picture thing
Right.
here,
And especially
So-
the picture. So what we're doing with Who Weighs More is,
and the pictures
Yeah.
you show can
Yeah.
really.
Right. It could really dictate how people vote. But what we're doing with Who Weighs More is we're popping it in the Instagram story like we do for overrated, underrated each week, so the people can vote. Also, a tricky part of that, though, is with Who Weighs More, there is a right and a wrong answer. So it doesn't necessarily, it does matter if they've listened to the podcast because we give away the answers on the podcast. With overrated or underrated, there is not technically
right.
correct.
We're
So
just
it doesn't
polling
matter
the
if
audience,
right.
yeah.
They could be, their opinion could be skewed based on listening to the podcast, but it still just is a poll of the audience. Someone thought that we should put out the Instagram poll of Who Weighs More prior to the episode being released.
Oh,
but I don't know. That's also then
Well, that could be like a Sunday thing, maybe.
right.
Guys, just bear with. We're planning our
Yeah.
marketing strategy right now, so you're getting a
Yeah.
real inside track here.
Someone did have that suggestion though.
Yeah,
And
that
there
could
is
be
some-
a Sunday or even
yeah.
a Monday morning.
Right. Maybe it's Monday morning, so
That
both
could be,
are available.
That could be the one thing that makes some people just
Get out of bed on
Go
Monday.
into work a little better on Monday, not hate their job and their boss so much because they know Who Weighs More is coming their way.
Right.
Maybe that's our responsibility to bring that to the people.
I am excited about Who Weighs More, though. I think there's a lot of good possibilities with it. I'm excited for this week's. I really enjoyed last week's.
It's the second iteration, so I don't know what direction you could take this, Tanner. There's a lot of ways this could go.
Interesting note on last week's contestants, JJ Watt versus James Strickland. I hadn't realized this until Big James mentioned it. He had tried out. He did tryouts
for the NFL.
for the Texans.
Oh yeah,
Where JJ Watt played, so he was in tryouts against JJ
Really?
Watt, and Brian Cushing would have been at linebacker, and James was just kind of trying out for like D tackle linebacker, so he was like trying out against gets two of the best defensive players in the NFL.
And then they get pitted against each other, and Who Weighs More? And he says, "So we meet again."
Yes, right. So it was not as
Looking at the picture, so that was when I kind of went back and forth on. I just assumed, and I'm assuming probably JJ Watt probably is a few inches taller.
I think he's a little bit taller. Yeah.
But then when I saw the pictures, I think the picture you had JJ Watt wearing shoulder pads.
Yeah.
Big James just looked like he had the shoulder pads built
Right.
in.
When you see the two next to each
and
other,
it's like,
he looks
this
much
is
bigger.
A much more obvious thing once I actually
Right.
see the photos.
Okay, so that was last week's. Are we ready to jump into this week's? Let's
jump on
segment of
in.
Who Weighs More? Number 1, Josh Morris. Is it
Yep.
J-Mo? I usually call him J-Mo. Versus a baby grand piano.
Ooh.
And I'm going by kind of Wikipedia's. A baby grand piano could weigh multiple different things, but I'm going by the average Wikipedia answer.
Baby grand
versus
okay,
J-Mo.
Okay. Just so I'm getting the right picture in my brain. A baby grand, that's the one with the piano that's like 10 feet long, right?
Right.
What's a regular grand piano?
I was looking at this, and there was actually like a length cutoff where.
Oh, so it's the same thing. It's just
It's a smaller.
grand is just longer.
Right. So
How
you
long is
could
it-
be
how long is a
picturing a
grand
grand
piano?
piano. Yeah. A baby grand, I guess, is not all that long. I can't remember the actual.
See, I'm not going to look it up because I don't want it to spoil my perception
Right.
of what this is. But what's the pianos like? The really the ones that are only like 2 feet deep.
That was just called like a vertical or something like that. I don't know.
Okay. So
It's not a
that's
grand
definitely
piano.
not a baby grand.
Right.
Well, pianos are heavy. I had to move a piano before.
Yeah.
Not fun.
Right. Wouldn't be very fun to move J-Mo either, though.
Well, that's what I was about to say. But also,
Saw him at the Arnold this year. He wouldn't
I
want to
think it
move him
would
around
just
very
suck
far.
having to move him.
He'd probably be sweatier than the piano too.
Less handles to grab onto. I think. See, but the baby grand is made out of like just wood and
Right.
metal and strings and other stuff that I don't know what a
Yeah.
piano's made out of. I think I'm gonna go with the baby Grand weighs more. And okay, before I even say this, I'm guessing Josh Morris. He probably weighs around 400. I'm guessing he's got to weigh about 400. Baby Grand's got to be like 450.
You are correct. Baby Grand Piano does weigh more, about 500 pounds.
Oh,
JMO
okay.
about 400. So you had that pretty much nailed.
Yeah. Wow. All
So
right.
the Baby Grand Piano does in fact weigh more.
I mean, the
for
name
now.
Baby Grand is
Yeah.
just, it sounds big.
Yes, it does. Number 2, Yuri Belkin versus Kevin Durant.
Okay. I do know that
The Slim Reaper.
I do know that Yuri Belkin sits right around 220. You know, that's a pretty well-known fact that he's just there. He's not really cutting weight or changing. But Kevin Durant, I have no clue what Kevin Durant weighs.
He's like 6'11 or
and
6'10.
that's what makes it so confusing is he's so freaking tall.
Yeah.
That
But also very skinny.
yeah, it's like I don't know what a person that skinny at almost 7 feet should weigh. I don't know. Wasn't the rumor with him always like in college that he couldn't bench like
I think the NBA Combine is a 185 bench test, and I believe he could not do that.
yeah, which just seems so crazy.
Yeah.
But also his bench press is for sure longer than most people's deadlift.
Right.
Right? Especially
Yes.
most people under 200 pounds.
Yes. I imagine he has well over a 7-foot-long wingspan. So
Yeah.
and his chest has no thickness
No, yeah,
whatsoever.
yeah. Well, yeah, with a chest cavity that's like 5 inches deep, you know, in the whole thing. All right, Yuri Belkin's around 220. I want to think that Kevin Durant weighs like he has to have put on a little weight. He's got to be around like 250 or 60, I think.
So that's your final answer.
That's
Kevin
what
Durant
I
weighs
believe.
more.
Kevin Durant weighs more.
You are correct. Kevin Durant does weigh more. He weighs. They have what I find is 240.
240.
Yeah, and
really?
Yuri in his last meet here was actually weighed in at 230. He competed in the
230,
242
okay.
weight class.
Okay.
So it is only a 10-pound
That
difference
is only
between
a 10
the two.
pound. Wow.
But that makes it tough because Kevin Durant is so tall and skinny.
He is like you don't ever want to believe that guy could
Right.
weigh less. Like that'd be very. And then he's out for the season, correct?
Yeah, what did he?
Oh,
His
it's-
Achilles.
yeah, his Achilles, yeah.
So I don't think he really will play this next season for the Brooklyn Nets.
NBA starts up pretty quick here, doesn't it? Or is it more? Is it more than a month out still?
Yeah, I suppose it's not too long. Usually Thanksgiving isn't it's probably over a month still.
Is it? Because
Yeah.
well, baseball playoffs are still because
Right.
you get that couple week window where you get baseball, and
NFL.
and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's maybe a
I
little-
suppose. Yeah, there's still a few weeks left.
Yeah.
You're right. It's only mid-September. What am I thinking?
Right.
Getting ahead of myself here.
Don't put the cart before the horse.
That's right.
Last one on who weighs more, Stacy Burr or the average human being on Earth. The average human being on Earth, all sexes.
What age are we talking?
I think the average adult human being.
Average adult. Okay, so we're not talking putting every human
We're
in
not
a large
not babies
basket and
kids.
then weighing it all
right,
out.
right. The
Okay.
average adult human being.
male, female, all averaged together.
Yes, and not just of the United States.
Yeah. Well, because I mean that would be
Makes
honest
a
here,
difference.
really
Yes.
tip the scale in a
Yes.
certain direction.
It does because we'll probably also see that in a future. Who weighs more.
Yeah. Okay, so doing the mental calculations here, Tanner. Stacy Burr, I think, is around that 140-ish. I'm gonna say she's between one. Okay, she is definitely between 130 and 160, which is a pretty. It's jumping a few weight classes for
Yeah,
women, so I'm not
yeah.
narrowing it down a ton. But also, I want to say the average human, in my mind, adult, it's got to be like 160-ish probably. Even that might be a little high. Just because shorter people are not. If you're short, 160 is heavy. Mm-hmm. I mean,
Right.
I mean,
Yes.
as far as just women in general, 160 is probably almost always heavy. So maybe the average adult is closer to 145, and Stacy Burr's definitely in that range. So
That's what makes Who Weighs More tricky.
That is what makes Who Weighs More tricky.
I like your thinking on all of this so far.
Yep. Really thinking it out here. I think I'm gonna go with Stacy. God, I don't know how much she weighs. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that she is more than the average human weight.
You are correct.
I am. Wow.
Stacy Burr. This kind of goes by our last meets and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is what she weighs today or whatever, but
just a documented weight at some point.
148.
148. Okay.
So you were right. You were right in that you had it pretty well
in the
figured, I
range.
think. Yeah. The average human being, 137.
Really, 137.
Yeah.
That seems super light.
Right. But if you consider Asia makes up a huge portion of the population on Earth.
And then again, I would think probably most women under 5'5", a normal body weight range is probably low hundreds.
Right.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Again,
it's much harder to guess.
Again, I don't really know what numbers should be.
It's much harder to guess women's weights than it is men's, at least from a man's
it's
perspective.
It's a total mystery to me.
Like you can put any man in front of me, and I can
I think
put out a pretty fair guess.
I think I could
Yeah.
be.
But
If you're getting closer to 300 pounds, I think I could be within 20 to 30 pounds.
Yeah.
If you're under 200, I think I could be within like 10 to 15 pretty easily.
But women, it is much harder. And also, you have to be more careful.
Oh yeah, it is. It's a much more sensitive subject.
Yes, right.
I mean, really, the answer there is just never guess a woman's weight unless it's powerlifting related.
Or unless it's on Who Weighs More.
Or if it's this segment, then it's the rules. You have to guess a weight.
Right, exactly.
There's no way around that. So
Right.
that could really hurt me sometimes.
That
Tanner.
could put you in some really
Or I could offer some very flattering weight numbers for people too.
just to save face.
It could
just
be
to
a trap. You'll never know.
Yeah. So that is Who Weighs More for week number 2. Stay tuned. I think that'll stick around for a while at
Some
least.
real brain busters.
That'll stick around until we run out of human beings.
until we run out of people and objects to weigh.
Yes. Yeah, that is the thing. This week we introduced, it doesn't even have to be a person.
No, I like that.
Yeah.
Let's get some objects up in
Yes.
there.
Objects. I could see animals coming coming in the future.
A pound of feathers or a pound of bowling balls.
Well, we would know it weighs a pound.
Well, it could be riddles, Tanner. You can introduce some riddles. You're like, aha, I gotcha. And then I'll just sit in the corner and cry because I've been mentally defeated, embarrassed in front of all these listeners.
Yes. That's Who Weighs More. We did have a podcast review this week that I wanted to read too.
Really? We still get those, huh?
Yeah, we did.
How's your beverage going over there?
I have just a small amount left.
I do too. Been quite refreshing.
Yeah, what was it again?
I always forget the name here, even though I've looked
Chaba.
at it. Chaba.
Or Cahaba.
Yeah, I think you're putting the H in the wrong spot there. I don't know though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're
not from the South. We don't know how they talk down there.
Well, I know how they talk down there. It's not like how we talk up here.
You are right about that.
Which koozie do you like better?
I think I like the red color more, but I think I like the lift imprint more.
Can't go wrong either way.
I mean, I can't. I just picked half of each one. So.
Right. But this podcast review, we're forgot what I'm doing here.
Oh yeah, one of those things.
This is a 5-star review left on our Apple Podcasts. This is from Big Jeff Guys is the name. I think I actually know who left this.
Yeah.
We'll get to that at the end. Screen name on there, Jake Lifts 92. 5 out of 5 stars. Massenomics is always a good time. The personalities makes this content enjoyable and easy to listen to, and the topics are timely and interesting. # Jefferson deadlifts for life.
He gets it.
Yep.
He knows what's up.
I think that's Jake Bowley. Jake
Is it?
of Barbend. I kind of think because he hammers on the Jefferson deadlift thing pretty good, so I think that may be who that was.
And also, Barbend was really impressed with our ability to stick to the Jefferson deadlift.
Yeah.
Stick to being fans of Jefferson deadlifts.
Yeah, we're not letting that die. Much
No.
like the lift shorts debacle of 2018, we're not letting.
Was that only a year ago already?
Oh, I think
Okay.
I don't think it would have been back to 2017.
Yeah, you're right.
I think it was in 2018. Speaking of Barbend, though, and spoiler alert, I think at some point in time we'll do a little collaboration with Barbend on some podcasting. Maybe you'll hear us on their they have a new podcast out that I've listened to a couple episodes, and I do enjoy. It's very well put together.
Did you give them the talk though, Tanner? Say if you're not going to go at least 180 episodes, don't even start.
Don't waste our time. Don't waste our and your time.
Yeah. There's a certain standard you got to uphold here.
Rick, you can get into this, but we're telling you, you will not outlast us. You
Nope.
may do better, but it will be for a shorter amount of
better's
time.
pretty subjective.
That's true.
So, I don't think anyone can really ever say that.
No, that's true.
So we'll always hold on to that trophy
That's right.
that we gave ourselves.
That's right. But we may be doing something with them in the future. We probably will be. So stay tuned for that. We'll keep you abreast on the details.
I did notice a lot of discussion this week too, as into what the official Massenomics rating system is.
Shit. That's can we jump back to what's in the can?
That's
I'm
what
really glad you brought that up. A suggestion that I really like to, and I will see what we were talking, what you think of this, but I really liked out of 5 possible JD Power and Associates trophies.
Yep.
How many JD Power and Associates trophies are we going to give it?
these- yeah.
So did you see that also?
I did see that, and
I
was
really like
100%
that
on
idea.
board with that. Yep.
So
I just
we'll
like the
jump
idea
quick-
of JD Power and Associates trophies just being so in abundance that they're given out in multiples. You know,
Yes.
like no one. You never hear of anyone winning one.
Right.
Like, no company ever brags about winning one JD Power and Associates. They won more than anyone.
Right.
That's the only time anyone brags about. Which means that everyone else is also winning them, but you just won more than everyone.
Right.
Which kind of also is like everyone got money or everyone got a prize, but we got the most
best.
prizes.
Yeah. So this beverage today, out of 5 possible total JD Power and Associates awards, how many JD Power and Associates awards do you give this?
First, I need something clarified. Are half awards allowed?
I think we can go half of a JD Power and Associates trophies.
Okay, because either if we didn't do halves, then we'd have to move to 10 trophies, which I think is the standard amount to be considered most in class.
Oh,
because
right.
the winners probably are getting 10 trophies.
Yeah,
But I'm cool
I'm
with
sure
keeping-
Chevy has at least.
Well,
10
yeah, I would
per
assume they're
vehicle.
winning at least 10. Yeah, at
10 per
least
pickup.
10 per pickup. Yeah, yeah. They just have closets full of JD Power trophies. Like, what weighs more, a closet full of JD Power trophies or a Chevy truck? I don't even know.
Also, like, it's not just JD Power. There's also associates involved.
Yeah, who are the
So-
associates? It's a very good question.
And associates
Yep.
of JD Power.
JD Power's in their shady
if it's
associates.
not bad enough that nobody knows what JD Power is, add in their associates.
Their whole associates
yeah.
wrapped up in there
Right.
too. I think I would give this Chaba. I'd probably sit right around 3.5 to 4, and not that it's a bad beer. It's just
5 JD Power and associates is
5
not easily hit.
I mean, you're approaching Chevy territory
Right,
there. You know,
right.
leading in class.
Right.
I'm probably going to go around 3 or 4, just because
Yeah.
it's a light, refreshing beer. It's just also a little lighter on taste, and some people that's going to be a 5 all day.
Right.
For me, I usually prefer something with a little more flavor, so I'm going to go. I'll go 3.5 on this.
Yep. And I'm going to give it 4 JD Power and Associates trophies. Probably because of the reasons you said. My taste fits this pretty well, but I'm not just I'm holding 5 pretty close to.
Yeah, 5 is a
I'm not
5 is a
gonna play
big
that
deal. I'm
easily, yeah.
definitely if we go 5
5
JD
has to
Power and
wow
Associates
me.
trophies, I would be shocked if we give out more than just a couple of those a year. You know,
Right.
That's the real deal when we're giving out a 5.
Right.
I mean that's actually probably as newsworthy if we give something a 5.
5 JD Power and
Yeah.
Associates trophies.
Yeah.
Yes. So that is going to be our rating system. Excellent suggestion. Whoever said that.
Yeah, I can't remember who that
Good
was
job.
either, but that person, whoever said that, my brain went, yes, they get
Yeah,
it.
I'm really glad you brought that up. I had been thinking about that all week, that we need to utilize that format. Do we want to discuss the results of last week's overrated or underrated segment?
I think I might have been wrong on all of these.
Interesting thing this week, it was a sweep. I don't believe there's ever been a sweep, and if there has been, it has certainly not been like this one-sided of a sweep. Overrated
That's-
won the day.
That's what I was noticing, and I might have been 50-50 if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's right. Avocados were topic 1, 69% overrated.
And
you said that.
I said
You
overrated,
agreed
but
with
I did fight with it a little bit, and then I'm like, wait a minute, these are definitely overrated.
Yeah. White Claw shortage, 74% overrated. And let me clarify, if something gets about 70%, it's on either side. That's pretty strong in these ratings.
That is, yep.
It's not all that common. Topic number 3, country trap music, the genre of the...
I was a little shocked by that, but people probably think it's super trendy. They might not understand there could be some staying power there. And those same people saying overrated will soon be dancing, having the time of their life. Hee-hawing the day away.
Yep, 69% though on that one again, on the overrated side. This one kind of surprised me. The last one, the Lion King remake. You were very on the fence on this one.
I
You went
was,
back
and then
forth,
I said,
and you had
it
good
was so
reasoning both ways.
impressive. I will say underrated.
And they 73% overrated. That was a pretty good movie. But
I want to assume a lot of the people that said overrated
Just haven't seen it.
Didn't even see
Yeah.
it. They're already on the principle of it's overrated, so I'm not gonna see it. But hey, you win some, you lose some.
so it was an extremely strong one-sided overrated sweep.
Tanner, you brought nothing but overrated ideas to the table.
and I don't
last
really
week.
like to do that. I like it to be mixed up. It was a little bit mixed up from your answers, but the people definitely
felt very
did
differently.
not feel that way. But enough about last week's overrated or underrated. Let's jump into this week's overrated or underrated. One note on the rules, I do want to specify that appropriately rated is not an acceptable response. Don't say that. Don't even think it. Don't even think this is appropriately rated.
And the questions do not deserve a JD Power and Associates rating of any kind.
Right.
There's just over or underrated. It's
Right.
the only option here.
There's no varying degree of
not,
JD
yeah,
Power
we're not
awards.
bringing in an alternative scale of measurement into this equation.
Right. And now that we know that important rule, we will jump to topic 1 of overrated or underrated. You actually mentioned it throughout this podcast, coincidentally. Overrated or underrated, MLB, Major League Baseball.
All right. I'm not a baseball fan at all. Tanner, I know for a fact you're also not a
Right.
baseball fan. I get it. Maybe it's more of a, you know what? I don't even actually really I shouldn't even say I get it. I think from what I'm told, it's more of I don't know. Is it more of a technical old time game rooted in history and all
I think
this
those
heritage?
are all fair things that people say.
And there's all these.
Some might call it boring.
Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't have the flash and pizzazz of a lot of current sports, and it's something you got to be a little more patient with and maybe more appreciative of.
It's a game of inches.
All of that being said, those are things that people say when something's boring. Like those are all 100% things that people beat around the bush with the boring
to
label
justify
on.
it, yeah.
I do think it is typically a sport though that you got to understand the finer points to really appreciate it.
Right.
Whereas football is like, okay, they caught the ball, they ran fast,
Yeah.
they hit them hard,
They smashed each
boom,
other.
yeah, that's pretty easy to appreciate. Same thing with basketball. Like there's nonstop action going on in basketball all the time. So those are really easy to appreciate on a surface level just because they're entertaining. There's action. Being that baseball is the other way, I want to say it's underrated. Also, out of the big 3 sports, I think it's probably is it the least popular right now? I mean, I know NFL's number 1.
I think it's probably the least. Yeah.
I think NBA's probably 2.
Yeah.
Baseball's probably 3. Hockey's probably 4.
Yeah, I think you're probably
This
right.
is all just me, really guessing off the
Just
top
what
of my
we
head.
kind of feel like.
I think that's probably right, but I think baseball's overrated. The only reason I've even watched like a pitch of baseball this entire year, an inning, anything of baseball, is because the Twins are playing good, and that's the closest thing we have to a home team.
Right.
So, the Twins are doing good. I'll pay attention, and me paying attention means like a few pitches or an inning. Like that's all you're getting out of me, and then I go about my day.
Yep.
But with that, baseball is overrated.
Right. I would mention I agree, first of all, but the one thing that is fun is going to a live.
Oh yeah,
It's just because it's just the experience.
Yeah, yeah,
at
and
that
also
point.
I will 100% go to a live baseball.
Right.
And
a live indie professional
an MLB game.
Yes.
I'm not going to get too
Professional,
excited
no.
about it, but yeah, I would gladly go to a
Or
Twins
people say the
game.
College World Series.
I've heard that. I've also heard people say that that's a pretty wild
I would
time.
like to do that too, but that's at that point you're talking an experience. It's like
Yeah, it's a very different thing than just
Yeah.
watching baseball.
Yes.
Yeah, but I would still 100% go to a game.
right. Topic number 2: overrated or underrated cardiovascular training. Cardio.
This one I'll give an answer to right away. I do think cardiovascular training is underrated.
Yeah.
Like no one wants to do it. Most people don't want to do it. Almost no powerlifters want to do it.
That's what I was going to say. We're kind of looking at it as the lens
from the
through a
powerlifting
powerlifter.
and the strongman.
Yeah.
Like, and most also probably come up with the mentality of like, well, I don't need to do it. Like, okay, I guess technically for powerlifting the sport, you don't need to. There's going to come a point in time where just general health should be a part of your the factor and the whole equation of what you're doing. But I do think cardio is underrated, and I don't do it like ever. I should.
Yeah.
Tanner, if you get a Rogue Echo bike down at the gym,
I-
that would probably increase my cardio levels.
I have that is probably going to happen someday. I've been talking to some other people about it, and there's more interest than when we buy something. I usually get a feel for what people think. I want to make sure
if it's not
some
like,
people want it.
Do I just want that, or would someone actually use it?
Right. And surprisingly, there's been a lot of people that are like, that actually sounds like a good idea.
That and a rower, I would be excited about both of those, like way more than I would be about a monolift.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
As cool as a monolift would look in the gym, I'd get way more use and definitely it'd bring something to my training that doesn't exist right now.
Right.
With those two, and you'd still
Where the
come up-
monolift wouldn't, because we don't have any, we don't have a lot of over 600 squatters.
Well,
we don't.
and still in that range, you can walk out your squats.
Right.
Like it's still, that's
Right.
not the limiting factor still.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of wrap squatters. And
And you would still have money left over too.
Yes.
Buying both of those.
I'm kind of curious to see if they put the Rogue Echo bike on sale at some point in time, which I can picture that.
Or because shipping is still probably a decent amount on that thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Does it come fully assembled?
I think it does. I think that's what it's. I think it says something like that it does.
Yeah. So if they did one of those Black Friday deals where it was like free shipping and a certain % off, that could be a pretty hot deal on that thing.
There has been several people from the gym that are interested in it too.
Yeah.
And, so I was kind of.
I was 100% like exercise bike until I sat on that one, and I was impressed.
Yeah, and if we're gonna get one, that's the one we're gonna get.
Oh yeah,
for sure. Yeah. So you're saying underrated?
Cardio is underrated.
Oh, overrated or underrated? Massages.
Massages
Like
are
paid
probably
for
massages are probably underrated. I think they probably are. I've only had one. I've only paid for one massage in my whole life.
Me too.
And
Me too. That's precisely the number.
So I have such a limited experience. I mean, it was really nice.
Yeah.
I don't know why I haven't gotten another one. I should. But I also just have a hard time partying with my money.
I was gonna say it's the money. It's also there is an element of it being slightly weird. Like, don't you have to agree that it's a little weird?
Yeah, a little bit. Like
there's an awkwardness to like.
Well, yeah, that there's this whole just there's the weird thing of like in this day and age, like you can pay someone to like basically almost be naked and they rub you down, and like that's legal. But then if they started to rub a different part of your body, now that's illegal. We're in illegal territory.
Yes.
Money was exchanged. Things are illegal.
Yeah, and I was referring to non-happy ending.
Yeah. Just a regular, really conservative massage.
Yeah. But it's still a little weird. Like just like like taking your shirt off. And,
and the weirder one is like, what if I was like, hey, I am a massage therapist. I am a masseuse. Like my job is to just rub people down. That would be the weird one.
Mostly naked people.
My job is just basically rub down people all day long. And I'm sure you could probably make a really decent living doing it if you get some good clientele built up. And it's probably an awesome skill to have. I'm sure everyone that you know is like, yes, that person.
Also, that's probably annoying though.
Oh, yeah. I could never, ever see myself doing it. Be cool to know how to do though.
That's a Seinfeld episode where Jerry is dating a masseuse.
Oh, really?
She won't give him she'll only have sex with him. She will not like give him a massage, and he wants to like take advantage of her for her massage therapy. Also, a different episode of Seinfeld, George has a really weird issue with a man giving him a massage. That is a little weird too, right?
Kind of, I think.
Yeah.
Like when I think of it in like more of a therapy
Yeah.
setting, it's like, well, no, this person's just helping me.
Yeah.
But I think like, oh, I just want to just unwind, not think about anything and be relaxed.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird when you think about it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this man is relaxing me.
Right,
Like,
right.
You know? I mean, it's not, I won't say it's gay. I don't think
No.
it's gay by
Right.
any means
No,
at all.
it's not. I
but
mean,
it is just kind of,
Well, a massage isn't, we're defining it, it's not sexual. So
Yeah.
it shouldn't be weird if a man's doing it, but it is, I think, a little weird. Like, depending on the person, some people would probably not consider it
I
weird
think
at all.
I think there's also definitely a lot of people that would not ever think about it.
Right.
Like it would just scare them too
Yes.
much. They'd just be too scared.
Yeah,
Like,
it depends a lot on like your personality too.
yeah.
Of
And personal beliefs.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, true.
But I think massage is underrated. Just I don't know who would say massages are overrated. There's definitely going to be people. I don't know. Maybe this will be the first one, Tanner, where it's 100% underrated.
We'll see.
I think that is incredibly unlikely, but I'm very curious the type of person that does believe that massages are overrated.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we will find out. Watch, it's 76% overrated.
Yeah, that happens
Not
sometimes.
giving them, receiving them.
Yeah,
Receiving,
right.
I don't-
Yes,
I have
nobody.
such a hard time.
Nobody
believing-
wants to give a massage.
Giving a
It's
massage
like, no.
is 100% overrated.
Yes. So I agree. Nobody wants to do that.
Yeah.
Last topic. I thought I remembered it, but now okay. Last topic of the day: overrated or underrated? Limp Bizkit.
This has really got me. My brain's going a
Yeah.
lot of different ways.
There's a
right
lot
now,
of things
Tanner.
about Limp.
I had
Bizkit.
a pretty strong feeling in all the other ones pretty quickly. This one though, wow.
And I'm red hat to the back, Mr. Fred Durst.
Yep. New metal pioneers, you could say.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know because I want to say. Do you you know the guitarist Wes?
Nah, I don't.
He was the one that always had. I don't know if you even remember the video or if you've paid attention. He was out like Limp Bizkit always had the one guy that had like the masks on and
Yeah,
like, he had
okay,
crazy
yeah,
face paint.
yeah.
He actually has a somewhat entertaining Instagram page. It's pretty good. Like one day he had like he's like, this is my makeup tutorial, and he was like pretending like he was. All he was doing is painting his face white.
Yeah, yeah.
But like he was doing this big makeup, and then he has like these. He's a pretty skilled painter actually. Like he has all these paintings, and then he's doing shows and playing music and stuff. So I ran across that recently, and I was somewhat surprised and entertained. It was good stuff on there. But the rest of the band, I don't really know anything about the rest of the band besides Wes and Fred Durst.
Right.
Are they still like touring or anything like that right now?
I think I thought I heard somebody say something about that they were,
Well,
but
see,
I don't know. But I
now
thought
we're getting
someone
to the
mentioned
point
it
where
to me.
their first big songs came out like what 99-ish,
Probably,
98?
yeah, that sounds about right.
And that's 20 years. You know,
Right.
enough time has passed to where like it's almost like the novelty is coming back.
Yeah, it's
you know,
like,
and so
Limp Bizkit.
if you don't go to the gym, you probably haven't heard a whole lot of Limp Bizkit.
Right.
I would think if you go to most gyms, you probably hear Limp Bizkit come on somewhat regularly.
It's on pretty.
still.
It's on often. Like most weeks, I probably at least hear some Limp Bizkit.
There's at least one
Right.
Limp Bizkit song that
Yeah,
comes on
yeah.
in the gym all the time. That's not unusual at all. But the real question is, are they overrated or underrated?
Right.
I think if you look at the trajectory of Limp Bizkit's fame over time, Limp Bizkit started off like, with the whole new metal craze. Like people were going nuts for it, Korn and
Yeah.
Linkin Park and, kind of System of a Down all
Yeah.
falling in that area.
Yeah.
Like people were, even Slipknot kind of fell in there too,
Yeah.
and Disturbed, like that all
Yeah.
stuff was sort of falling into that. And at the time, the world couldn't get enough of it. They were eating it up. It was all about that. And so at that time, maybe it was underrated. And then shortly after, the bubble burst. And it was so overrated.
Yeah.
It was so like nothing to do.
Yeah.
Like the world just said, no, we're done with that music. It had its time. It's gone. And ever since then, I don't know, there's probably still people making that music, but it's not doing anything.
It's not making it like
that
they
genre's been done. It did all of its stuff that it had to do.
Right.
But now there's I think that there's the nostalgia factor again. And I don't know, there was some, whether you think it had artistic merit or not, there were some songs that were very fun and entertaining in that. I will 100% say that. So I guess with that, I do have to say Limp Bizkit is underrated.
I can get down with that.
That was all it took to get there,
Yeah. I like him.
Yeah. First Limp Bizkit song I ever heard, I can tell you. I was on the bus in 5th grade, I believe. My friend had, as you do in that day, heard the song on the radio. I think it was actually his older brother, heard the song on the radio, recorded it to a cassette tape.
Yeah.
For certain people younger, none of this is making any sense right now. So he heard the song on the radio, recorded it to a cassette tape. I was on the bus and he said, listen to this. Gave me his cassette player with the headphones and listened to it. It was like, and it was Faith. Faith, the George Michael's cover.
Yeah.
Or the Limp Bizkit cover of the George Michael song Faith.
They did quite a few covers actually.
Yeah, they had
like
a few
Behind Blue Eyes.
Yeah, I did not like that one at all. Was that chocolate starfish and hot dog flavored water though?
Oh, that.
Or was that Limp Bizkit?
I think it's Limp Bizkit, but I don't know actually. That it might not be.
Yeah, I don't remember what where the shift happened there. But Faith was the first one. I was like, damn, this is crazy. Like this is, and like as a 5th grader, it is the most mind blowing thing you'd ever heard at that point.
Right.
And then shortly after that, probably a year or so later, Break Stuff, like when that came out, that was probably about year 2000 ish, and that was insane too. Like that was the most hardest aggressive song I'd ever heard in my life.
Yeah,
as being like probably a 6th or 7th grader.
Yep.
That was like one of those things that like my head doesn't know how to process.
Right.
The part where he says everybody sucks, that was the most against authority thing I'd ever heard in my life at that point. I think all the other bad words, the other expletives in the song just went completely over my head. Right. All I remember is him saying everybody sucks, and that was mind blowing. So I'm still sticking by my Limp Bizkit is underrated.
Underrated. I think that's fair. And that does wrap us up for our most famous segment, Overrated and Underrated. And usually this brings us towards the end of the podcast. But we also like to talk about our Massenomics gear that we sell. And we were just talking about it earlier. We've got just about 1,000 pieces of inventory on the way.
The restock.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of restock and also a lot of new things that are coming here within the next month or two.
We haven't said much about it, but we got some bangers coming up here.
3 new shirts coming, and we have 2 new
other items.
Other things, yes.
That you can still put on your body.
Yes, that are not shirts.
What could they be? Never know.
And
actually, you'll just have to wait 2 months.
Some of the shirts that we have coming may be some of the coolest stuff that we've ever done. I'll say that. We have high hopes of.
They are attention getting and I mean just awesome.
Yeah, and actually all of those things are very good. And we're restocking some of your old favorites. The lift shirt. Oh, we've got that coming back. That'll be back in all sizes. There's been several people that have been asking about certain sizes that are out. That's coming back and everything. And also the Don't Curl in Me shirt, which we've been out of some sizes now. We have that coming back, hopefully in all sizes. The Don't Curl in Me flag has been very popular.
Mm-hmm. As it should be.
Yes, and we do have several of those right now, so you can hop on those too. But for now, we're going to leave you hanging on what those new shirts are. As we get pretty close, we'll be able to reveal it, and that'll be pretty exciting. Mm-hmm. There's going to be some big fanfare for that, I believe.
There is.
You can like our YouTube channel. That's where we pump out the podcast video, obviously. You can leave us reviews on Apple Podcasts. We'll read them like the one that we did here on today's episode. You can like us on Facebook. You can subscribe to our newsletter on the website. That is at the bottom of the page, or it'll pop up once you've been there long enough. We do send out newsletter emails periodically. About a good example of that would be when we have these new shirts coming out. We could very well have an email.
We will keep you in the loop.
Yeah, keeping you abreast on those new shirts. Besides that, we've got, most importantly, our Instagram handles. Where are you at on Instagram, Tommy?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
And you can make sure to follow the official Massenomics page at Massenomics. This episode has brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. They're your one-stop shop for all things fitness and online coaching. Whether your goals are training-related, nutrition and body composition-related, or both, Hybrid has a program for you. With dedicated and experienced coaches in each strength and fitness discipline, you can rest assured that you're in the best hands possible. Use code MASS, M-A-S-S, in all caps for 5% off any training or nutrition membership for the life of your memberships. Visit hybridperformancemethod.com. Today's show is also brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large is your one-stop online shop for powerlifters, strongmen, Highland Game athletes, CrossFit athletes, and anyone that lifts iron. Visit liftinglarge.com today. There's free shipping on any orders over $60, and 99% of their orders are shipped the same day that they are placed. Today's episode is also brought to you by Spud Inc. The goal of Spud Inc. straps is to make products that support sports performance and help everyone achieve their training goals. They make products that last forever, won't bust your budget, and most importantly, leave no doubt about success when everything is on the line. Check them out online at spud-inc-straps.com. That wraps up for episode 181. Join us next week for episode 182.
See ya.
Later.